Hello, everybody. This is Omnixius, and this is going to be an author log. It is, April 19th, 2019, and I have just uploaded my fourth chapter to royalroad.com. It was a battle to get it up because the royalroad.com, the interface is designed for you to write your work right there on the site, so you log in and actually write the story. Whereas I'm doing all my work offline. I'm doing it in LibreOffice 6.0, and then I'm copying and pasting it. Well, there's kind of a glitch when you copy and paste things from other pieces of software into Royal Road. You lose all your formatting. You lose your tab indents. You lose your line spacing. You lose a lot of the things. And I have been struggling to get it to import properly. I've tried different formats. I've tried different techniques. I've tried importing it one paragraph at a time so I can put the paragraph in and then manually enter in Royal Road a line space and then put the next paragraph, which works, by the way. But it's a pain in the butt. It takes forever. A big chapter will take a long time to import that way. So after searching the forums fruitlessly for an hour, I just started experimenting with all different ways to try to jimmy the software. And then I found the easiest solution imaginable. That is, post your story, submit it so that it goes live, and then pull your story back up and click on the edit button. And then once the story comes back up in the editor mode, it will actually show all the proper lines and indents. All you have to do is literally click on an empty line, hit enter once, and then hit backspace so that it kind of like rechecks all the spacing, and then resubmit it and all the spacing's back. It's the craziest thing. But at least it's back and it looks good. Your tabs are still gone, but as long as there's full line breaks between paragraphs, so there's a physical gap, it's still readable. It still looks, and I've noticed a lot of the other authors are doing this the same way. They just, rather than worrying about tabs, it's just a separate line separating each paragraph or line of dialogue. And that works. As long as the readers can read it and it flows properly, it works just fine. So that's just how I'm going to do it going forward. This whole process has been an emotional journey for me because I'm deeply invested in this story. These characters in this world are a part of me. And no matter how many times I read it, no matter how many times I go back and look over it, I realize that I want to add more detail. I want to talk about more things. I want to describe every scent on the wind, every sound of the wind blowing through the leaves, every bird call. I want to describe everything going on around the characters. But that's a little overkill. For me, I know these things are going on in my head because I'm the creator. But I always wonder, what does the reader need to know? What does the reader need to understand about this scene right now to set them there, to get them in that place so that they can feel like they're traveling along with the characters? And sometimes a lot of that is very subtle. Just one or two words in a line will set the whole tone and set the whole stage for the reader. And no two readers are going to see it exactly the same, but it doesn't matter. As long as the reader has been drawn into the world so that their imagination is in fact filling in the halls, you've accomplished your goal. I don't know that I've mastered that technique yet, but it is something that I've become aware of. I've become aware that it is a technique, and it is finding that balance is the key to a good story. Now, having good grammar skills is also a key to a good story, and this is something I struggle with immensely. You know how some people are good at certain things, but they're bad at other things? I'm a really good storyteller, but I'm terrible at language and grammar. Terrible at it. And I know I am. To the extent where I usually have two monitors running on my computer. Sometimes I have four, but I will have actual grammar lessons from other sites that teach grammar, to teach sentence structure and things, open on the other monitor while I'm writing the story so that I can keep using it as a reference. Because, as much as you can take these, you can go over a particular concept in English grammar with me, it never sticks. It never actually cements itself in my mind. And a lot of times I forget. There was actually been instances where I've read the same webpage 2 or 3 times on different days before it's finally dawned on me that, I've been here before, and then I look at my favorites and I realize I've favorited it before because I've been here before and I've read it before, but I have simply forgotten it. It just, when it comes to these types of things, they just don't stick. So I know I know I have some growing to do there, and I know that it's important to story. And I just hope that I'm not so poor at it that it's dragging people out of the story, that it's literally breaking their immersion into my world. I hope that's not the case. I know for some people it will be. People who are particularly sensitive to grammar, because they're very good at it, it's going to jar them out. But hopefully I will be able to overcome that in the future, and my stories will get cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. And then once these lessons start to really gel and work in my mind, I'll go backwards and I'll start cleaning up my earlier stuff to really just polish the story as much as I can. As of right now, I have 10 followers. 2 people have favorited my story. I have a 3.5 out of 5 rating, so I'm scoring average. I think I was ranked 17,500 and something. Now I'm ranked 12,238, so I've moved up the ranking quite a bit. So my story isn't the worst one on the website, but it's early days. It's literally only been up here for 4 days. So it's got a lot of time and a lot of room to grow. Ultimately, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I would love to make this my career. I would love to make writing, telling these stories that swim around in my head. I would love to make that my passion, my career, and do it as, as something that brings meaning to my life, which ultimately means eventually I will put up a Patreon and a donation button. But I don't want to do any of that until I have enough of the story out, and until I get enough feedback from people that suggest that this story and this path is worth pursuing. Then I'll consider those things, because asking for donations when all you've done is shovel out a pile of crap is worthless. I don't want to do that. I don't want to embarrass myself doing that. I want to get some feedback. I want to get some a lot more followers. My followers need to get into the triple digits before I even start considering this. I'm thinking somewhere right around 500 plus, I might start considering this, assuming that at the 500 plus mark, I'm getting good feedback and people are engaged and interested in the story, and then I will consider these things. I also want to start doing, once I get a decent amount of followers, is I'd love to hold a Discord chat where I can answer questions, where people can ask me questions and I can answer them and talk about the story and the characters. I think that would be fun. I would love to engage with the community and engage with the people who are reading my story, because when your heart is as deeply invested in something as much as mine is with this, I want to interact. I want to engage with the people who are also invested in it, the people who are on the other side reading it, who are invested in my characters and my story, and just want to see more, want to know more. Where is this going? What's going to happen to the characters? What's going to happen to this world with the things that are going on in it? Fortunately for all of you, I know exactly what's going to happen because I've written most of it out already. I'm well ahead in my chapters on this. This story is not going to meander. In fact, in some places it goes a little bit too fast. I kind of race to certain things because I've got so much story to tell that there just isn't time for me to drag something out and dawdle on it. Like there's a couple of instances with the woman in the story, the main female character, where I could have and maybe should have. She's slowly kind of changing her mind and her attitude on things. I could have dragged that out and made it take longer and longer and longer and given her more reasons over time to change her opinion. But I'm kind of rushing through it because the story will be 30 books long otherwise. So a certain amount of acceleration actually needs to be made here. And I think, having read a couple of other stories on this site, there are a lot of people who are taking their time. They've gone the opposite route. They are methodically and slowly getting from point A to point B, and then from B to C, C to D, and they don't care how many words and how many pages it takes to get there, as long as the story flows naturally, which is admirable. But what it leads to is there are instances where I'm reading through these stories and I feel like the last 5 pages were dead pages. Not enough changed over the course of those pages because the writer was being so careful to keep a very languid pace. I guess that's your your own tastes, because a lot of these people who I'm talking about have 5,000 followers, you know. So who am I to judge how the rate at which they're writing? I've got 10 followers. What am I supposed to say? Anyway, I just wanted to do an update, let everyone know Chapter 4 was out. All, 41 of you? How many people are subscribed to my channel? No one. And let you know that I made a Minecraft video that I wanted to get out, but for some reason the audio will not update properly. I've got the video and I've got the audio, and I want to run it through Audacity to clean up the background noise and static, and Audacity is actually refusing to modify the file type, and I'm not exactly sure why. It's giving me something about high definition audio can't be blah 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 blah. I don't remember the exact error. But so look forward to that in the future whenever I figure out that bug. You know, I'm one issue at a time I'm squashing. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and I hope I will catch you in the next one. Bye. I'm one issue at a time I'm squashing. Anyway, thank you all for listening, and I hope I will catch you in the next one. Bye.